Hey, what is up guys, Massive here, back to do another video, and today I've got a sick game on Tournament Oasis. I'm going to be playing as the Market of Kane. My opponent will be playing as the Black Hand, so MoK versus Black Hand. Had several of these games, this same matchup. One of them was absolutely wild. Probably not going to cast that one, but Bike may. He said he's going to do it. And spoiler, it was the longest game I have ever played. In the 14 years I played Kane's Wrath, that was the longest game I have ever played. Bike Crush is going to cast it though, so we'll see how that goes. Anyways, this one here I believe is awesome, very unorthodox. Market Kane versus Black Hand. MoK have an advantage if you ask me in the late game. Early game, I'd say it's tilting towards the Black Hand faction a little bit, though not too much. They only get Flame. That's the only thing they have over Market Kane. I think their multi-MCV can be balanced versus MoK's multi-MCV just because they have Flame Infantry, which can combat your MCV spam as MoK. But let's not forget, Market Kane have the stealth, cheap stealth at that, $500 disruption towers. For some reason there's a poll on Discord for limiting the amount of disruption towers you can build as Market Kane. I was thinking, what is this all about? I can't recall that being a complaint ever. But a lot of people do play 4v4, 3v3 maps, and I think it's a pretty good strategy on those maps to spam stealth towers everywhere though. Guys, if your ally is also an odd faction, he can put disruption towers down too. It's not always the one player stealthing the whole map. So I don't believe it's a problem. What players should do is get sensor pods. GDI upgrade for the Orca. Only costs $500 to research from the command post, and it's $100 per sensor pod. It's spammable, there's no cooldown on the Orca. You can just spam them on your buildings, on vehicles. You can no longer place them on your opponent's structures. Now hear me out on this. It's because it was abusive. It was, quite frankly, abusive. I was one of the people who abused this, as well as many others. And you couldn't remove them, guys. You had to sell the structure off. So it'd be better just putting them on the ground. Tiberium crystals as well was kind of silly to have a pod on, because the harvester had to harvest that crystal to remove the pod. There was no way to get it off there. And believe me, it was hard to deal with that as a non-faction. That's why you're paying so much for stealth tanks, $1,800. You're paying for that stealth. Vertigo is also very costly due to that stealth. You're paying a premium to be invisible. GDI have ample ways to detect stealth. They've got snipers, pitbulls, orcas with the pulse scan ability, which can reveal stealth in a small radius underneath the Orca. They have the sensor pods, they have pitbulls, lots of means to detect stealth, as well as the zone troopers with the scanner packs, which I consider to be the best anti-stealth tank units in the game. This game though, pretty crazy. You can see I'm going for a crane. I went for a crane because I wanted him to expect me to go to War Factory. Me going crane looks like I did a 2-war factory, but instead I'm going for a macro-oriented play. It allowed me to build while expanding to the blue field. I'm going to have a refinery on the way. I'm going for infantry against these bike buggies. Tib Troopers good in this patch. They have received a health buff compared to vanilla. Will allow them to tank a bit more of that buggy damage. Buggies don't do a lot of damage to infantry, but they do have a ton of rocket damage resistance. I'm soon going to get some Enlightened out too. Enlightened, a great unit to combo with these Tib Troopers, and in this matchup I don't have to fear of being hit by Venoms. At most he can build Confessors of his own, but he's not going to do that against Tib Troopers. Flame Tank, Scorpion Tank combo can be used. He can also base push me as well, but I have set up an expansion on this field. Lots of blue Tiberium there for me there to harvest. This is $2,800 per load of blue. If I secure this, I'm going to enjoy a nice advantage. Or maybe not, because I did delay my expansion by quite a bit, and it didn't appear like he went 2 war factory. This is just a 1 factory aggression, though at this point he probably has dropped the second one. I can build fast leg saboteurs at this point, try and capture his spikes. He has 2 of them. Got a Reckoner out too. I'm going to use this Reckoner to attack or to defend, purchasing the Dose Blade upgrade for it as well. And our Reckoners did receive a healthy buff to Dozer Blades. They increased the armor of that Reckoner by 35%. It is 20% for the Scorpion tanks when that upgrade is purchased. Bikes, though, sweeping into my base, they were able to decimate my Harvester and my expansion. I did not have anything there. This infantry, while good, is still too slow to respond quickly to this army. Raider buggies have stealth detection. The Black Hand and MoK ones do have it. Interestingly, the Black Hand buggies have more stealth detection radius than the MoK ones. It's 300 to 200 radius. But that did not work out so well for me. I'm on the back foot here. He has not set up an expansion refinery just yet. I've got a Harvester unloading some blue Tiger. I'm going to secure this blue tip. I'm also going to set down another refinery on this field. This Reckoner definitely came through there for the defense. I was either going to use it offensively or defensively. Tip Trooper, massive range. It's going to make short work of those Black Hand squads. Bikes again sweeping into my base. I don't have the quad turrets on my laser turrets. These Tip Troopers are going to respond, and once they are attacking those bikes, they're going to slow them down enough to kill them. Flame tank spam, though, coming in. It looks like it's all over for me. Look at all those flame tanks. That is so many flame tanks with just one laser turret there. How am I possibly going to hold this off? Well, I do have the Type-Room Troopers, which slow down vehicles considerably. I need these Type-Room Troopers to slow this force down, man. It's imperative at this point. I need EMP, and I need Scorpion tanks to deal with this force of units. Tip Troopers trying to slow this down. I don't want him to destroy a refinery because he may have a tier 3 and a tier 4. That bike force was torn up in my base, and yeah, that flame tank assault got shut down. It got shut down, didn't destroy that much, took out my position in the middle of the map, but I have established a expansion now on my what was to be my main expansion. This is now my second expansion, but yeah, I've got an expansion, and that's the main thing. Scorpion tanks out for me. Harvesters, need to look at my harvester count, rebuild any if I've lost them. It's nice to have, I would say at this point in time, 7 harvesters. You want to have at least 2 more than the usual 5 and 2, so you can transfer to your third field. But seeing how I am probably behind at this point, I need to make something happen. I'm going to go for a 1 base strategy, working on a second factory, because I believe he's going to go for a swell of Scorpion tanks. Him being the Black Hand, he's not going to have a lot of options later on. His best bet on a map as big as this is to go for Scorp spam. I know he can do that. I've played this guy a lot, and he is known to spam a lot of Scorpion tanks. Very difficult to defend with avatars, but at least I have avatars. They're only $2,200. Black Hand have to pay a premium for theirs at $2,800, but they do get that flamethrower, which in the case of this matchup can be pretty helpful. A couple of fanatics there. Those are discounted compared to the base version of the game. Only $600 in this patch, and they are very good in knob mirrors. They have always been good. They don't get crushed. Instead, they blow up their C4 and destroy the enemy tank. Moving out for another push. I don't have to worry about my expansion. That's the beauty of the Q move and having deployed Reckoners, is that your Reckoners will not move away. They're a fixed position. Got a rocket squad in there. It's going to help defend against any bikes if he has them. I see he's got a comparably sized army of Scorpion tanks. Some Tip Troopers here as well. They're going to be good against those fanatics. It's also going to allow me to slow down these tanks and get some freebies. A tier 4 is good in this situation. It's always good building a tier 4 whenever you can as Nod, the Tiberium chemical plant, because you can summon in the Tiberium with Seed Tiberium, and that gives you more than $3,000 of resources. So no matter what, it's a good play if you have a tier 3. If you're not sure what to build and you're a tier 3, just build a tier 4. That's why you see me do it a lot. Anyway, this tank army is going to overrun mine. I don't have enough to defend, but I do have some avatars about to be equipped with the dual beam. Beam cannons were made to do some work on the Scorpion tanks. These are going to be forced back. He cannot possibly hope to engage this. See Tiberium gets summoned in. And I'm going for more dual beam avatars. The regular attack laser is okay, but it does not have the DPS to pose a big enough threat to his tanks. I should also consider building a secret shrine. If I haven't got one, get a commando out, or even a couple more enlightened squads for EMPing. So far we've seen just the Tib troopers in mass, but he never built infantry. He's now got a third field established. I'm looking to see if I can click both of those refs. I'll settle for just the one, and now I'm going to head out with these avatars. Little did I know his Scorp army was larger than I had thought, so me leaving my base here was potentially a mistake. Scorpion tanks heading back. More avatars being beamed up. A lot of players don't do this. I believe it may be because they're lazy. I don't know, guys. It's never a bad idea. I was about to say it would have been a good idea to stealth these avatars with the cloaking field, but those raider buggies can detect. There was no saving those Scorpion tanks. I shouldn't have left my base, but at the same time I need to leave my base. I need to probe and see if I can find a weakness in his defense, and sadly for me, he does not have any. Nor was I successful in capturing his Tiberium spike over on the left hand side. I'm going to sell this chemical plant off. No need for me to keep it around. The Tib vein is not as versatile as it once was. You can't just click away an army. Your opponent can actually leave the Tib field before the main detonation happens. They won't take the damage if they leave the field in time. But they've only got 3 seconds to do so, so if you're not looking, then it's disastrous for them. Army pushing out here, and I'm going to go for his base as well with my MCV. More enlightened. I thought, okay, let's build a commando as well in case he's got infantry. I've got a dual beam avatar and a bunch of enlightened. It's unlikely he'll try and mash this with Scorpion tanks. He can try, but I believe he'll go into man spam. So I'm gonna prepare a defense against the impending threat of infantry. My MCV is also moving towards him. I've got the charged particle beam upgrade as well. And these Tib troopers are going to be very helpful. Mass Scorpion tank though has made it into my base. I've got nothing to defend off those tanks. Look how many Scorpion tanks he has. All equipped with that dose blade upgrade. So he's going to be able to crush my enlightened, which is the only thing I have there to defend. And we have somewhat of a base trade situation. I'm being held back by his tanks, swarm of tanks, but it's just not enough of the tanks there to cause me any harm. Tanks though moving in. I'm going to EMP a chunk of them, and Fanatics are coming out. I want to get crushed by those Scorpion tanks, so I'm comboing it with the Fanatics. As mentioned earlier, $600 is going to allow me, especially in that stealth field, to kill those Scorpion tanks with the Fanatic squads. Those dual beam avatars working overtime, killing the Scorpion tanks. Charged particle beam shredder turrets coming down as well, and I thought, okay, it's about now. It's the time he'll go for infantry. I need anti-infantry, and I need it now. But I am moving in my MCV to place those shredder turrets. I'm going to deploy here. I wanted to make sure I don't get hit by a commando. Blackhand commando is very threatening in this instant. If he has a secret shrine, it would be the play to build those Blackhand commandos. He'd kill my enlightened and also deal with the avatars quite nicely. Blue Tiberium field is regrowing in the middle of the map. Gonna place down another shredder turret. Gonna grab that blue tib. Infantry back home to defend my base. He may have a couple tanks. Bikes also not a concern with those infantry upgraded with the cybernetic legs. So Obelisk of Light comes down, but these dual beam avatars are completely unopposed. The harvesters are unstealth for Black Hand, and those will be taken out too. Avatars working on this obelisk. I have no way to repair my avatars here unless I build a war factory, so limiting the damage inflicted by these obelisks is paramount, especially with the impending threat of this Redeemer coming out. Both my servitors do get killed. It was worth the effort. If I kill the tier 3, it's the same as killing the Redeemer engineering facility. He won't be able to get that Redeemer out. Another force of Scorpion tanks though heading towards my base, and this time I don't have enough fanatics to handle this army. Avatars are still down here, still causing mayhem. The Redeemer was cancelled, and I'm going for more fanatics. Managed to pull back 2 of my lightened squads. Those infantries are doing what they can. The refinery is there. I don't want him to destroy those harvesters full of blue tip. You can see it has the blue tip inside of them. Nice EMPs coming down for me. That supercharged particle upgrade, very strong. MCV falls. And this Scorpion tank army as well follows suit with that Voice of Kane, granting a 50% increase to the rate of fire of those infantry. Very crucial for Mark of Kane. No, it's very difficult to defend without it. Okay, I was thinking these avatars are the game for me. If I keep them alive, I can win this match. MCV packs up. Now I'm looking at these flame tanks here and thinking, you know what, guys, I can commandeer these flame tanks of his and use them against his base. So the avatars can move in, and I can equip them. You can see the cursor appears, but for some reason they didn't want to this game. I don't know if it was because my avatars were stealth or because of the terrain, but my avatars are just looking at these flame tanks, and they did not want to commandeer them. It's unfortunate. I'm not sure why that is, but I turned to shoot nonetheless. We'll investigate that in the next patch, though I believe it's because the avatar was stealthed. May have been to do with it. It is a MoK avatar as well, so how often do you get to see them commandeer a flame tank? I know it's possible. Another flame tank coming into my base. He's trying to kill this refinery. Fanatics, very, very good in this situation. I'm still on edge here because he's probably got another MCV. He's got more structures compared to me. My MCV is down. I don't have a war factory anymore. So what you see is what you get. I do not have anything left. I'm going for more fanatics because I was thinking he's probably going to go for mass flame tanks. He's probably going to try his luck with flame tanks and destroy the rest of my base. So I'm building these fanatics to combo with the Enlightened and Awakened I have there to EMP and kill the flame tanks. He's never going to try and hope to destroy this army with Scorpion tanks now. We know that. Here are the flame tanks as predicted. And the Voice of Kane isn't going to do a whole lot for the fanatics. I was waiting for those 2 flame tanks to... Oh, I got an Awakened squad from the Voice of Kane. That was a good play from me, realizing that that gave an Awakened squad. And that's going to allow me to defend this force off. You know what? If I had not built those fanatics there, I probably would have lost right there and then. It only takes 1 flame tank to get into my base. He's got infantry being produced at his main. I can go for more tip troopers if I encounter infantry. Tip troopers counters infantry quite nicely. And he's going to call the GG here. The flame tanks were all stopped in their track, and the dual beam heroic avatars will finish off the rest of the base. He tried his luck with the flame tanks. It failed. MoK infantry prevailed. So I thought that was a pretty sick game on Tournament Oasis. A map I enjoy playing a lot. Has a lot of good games. And that blue field, how often do you see games start off going for the blue? Crane into blue field expansion, and then from there on out it got crazy. Anyways guys, hope you all enjoyed that game. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, I'd really appreciate that. And before I go, I'd like to thank my patrons as always for the continued amazing support for my YouTube channel and keeping this game going with me patching. I have another patch on the way. I am noting things down in a spreadsheet, so stay tuned for that. There's going to be a patch soon. Anyways guys, this is it from me, Master Leaf, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.